Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Maria.
Hello.
Counselor, we're ready to go when you are.
Okay, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. It's 6:02. Can we please have a roll call? Determine the quorum, please.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Dora.
Yes. Chair Manuel Martinez,
I'm present.
Councilor Dennis Team Salazar,
Good evening, I'm present.
Councilor Dorothy Valdez,
Here, I am here.
Councilor Peggy Sue Martinez,
I'm here.
and we have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the agenda in front of you. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
Move to approve, Mr. Chair.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote, or there's any questions on the agenda before we do a vote? Okay, not seeing none. Can we please have a roll call vote to approve the agenda, please?
Councilor Dennis Team Salazar,
For the motion.
Councilor Dorothy Valdez,
In favor.
Councilor Peggy Sue Martinez.
In favor.
And for the motion, I'm kind of getting you kind of cutting out a little bit there, Ms. Dora, just so
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and move on. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
None that we know.
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself?
None at this time, sir.
Okay,
Thank
we
you.
have the approval of community service committee minutes for community service committee minutes for September 21st. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second the motion, sir.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Do we have any comments or questions on it? No? Okay, seeing none, can we have a roll call vote, please, to
Councilor Dennis Team Salazar,
For the motion.
Councilor Dorothy Valdez,
In favor of the motion.
Councilor Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor of the motion. Don't forget to get Chairman Martinez's vote. He's allowed a vote also.
And Chair,
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if it's my connection there, but I'm getting kind of Dora's cutting in and out on my end. I don't know if you guys are getting that as well.
Chair Manuel Martinez, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you there. Thank you. And yes, I'm for the motion. Thank you.
Okay, all approved.
Okay, we'll move on to committee member comments. Councilor Peggy Sue Martinez.
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. I'll yield to my fellow counselors. Come back to me, please. Thank you.
Oh, yes, I sure will. Councilor Valdez.
I just want to say, I'm not sure if the Lowrider Day was an event that was pre-planned with the city, but I just want to say that it turned out to be a nice event. And I was very pleased that how many people were in town. And the following day when I drove through, there was no trash on the streets where they had been parked. That was really impressive to me. They packed it in and packed it out. I think they were cited by New Mexico State Police, though, for social distancing. But other than that, it was a nice event. I was really happy to see all the people, the crowds. I saw people wearing masks, but yeah, it was a nice event. Hello?
I'm hearing you, Counselor Didi. I don't know if everybody else is.
Okay, I can't hear anything. I'm
I-
done speaking. Thank you.
I hear it.
I don't know about Chairman Martinez, is he's having a hard time with his connection because I don't see him on the list now. So let's just give him a while to get reconnected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair Martinez, can you hear us?
No, he's not on the list. If you
Not
look
on
at
the
the list, yeah, he's disconnected. So there he is. Let's see. No,
Counselor Martinez is still disconnected on this end.
Get reconnected, but it just went out.
Dora, this is Counselor Peggy Sue, and he's trying to get reconnected, but he's having a difficult time. Can we get him on by phone?
Yeah, we're trying to call him now.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up so that you guys can get a hold of him, okay? All right,
Okay.
Counselor, they're gonna call you right now, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I just called Counselor Martinez and it went straight through to voicemail, like it didn't ring once at all. We're wondering if his phone might have died.
No, go ahead and recall him because he was on the phone with me. So just redial him.
Why don't you go ahead and see if everyone can hear you?
Okay, can everybody hear me well?
Yes.
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 Yes, I can hear you.
My apologies. I don't know if it's the connection here at my home, but my apologies for that. Let's see if we can get through this tonight. So please bear with me, and I thank you for your patience. Okay, let's go ahead and I move we did pass the approval of the community service committee minutes. We were on to committee member comments. Can we please, Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Salazar?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. I would just like to echo what Councilor Didi Valdez said in reference to the lowrider event that happened this past weekend. A lot of beautiful art on wheels, and it was, of course, what I saw in town, a huge turnout. But I am concerned about many people did wear masks, many people did not wear masks, and to me that is a huge concern. There is a mandate by our governor, whether people approve of it or they don't approve of it, it's still a mandate. And what I'm saying is, if people cannot wear masks for themselves, at least wear masks for others, because other people take this very seriously, concerned about their health and concerned about the possibility of catching COVID. So again, I would just like to reiterate and strongly encourage everybody to please wear masks until it is safe not to. And it seems like that's going to be for quite a while, but at the same time, I feel like everybody should be adhering to this mandate, whether they agree with it or not. The point is, I feel it's a mandate, and it needs to be done. If you can't do it for themselves, please do it for other people and their well-being and their health. Besides that, I don't have anything else. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Martinez?
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. I want to concur with both my fellow councilors, with Councilor Valdez and also Mayor Pro Tem Saad concerning the event this weekend. We can all agree that rolling art in Espanola is part of our culture, and it's very important to a lot of people in Espanola, including our community at large. I think it's something that can improve for some economic development. And I think it's very, very important. But right now I have concerns like they do about people that were unmasked. And excuse me. So I want to ask our city manager, did we have anything going on with that group officially? If we did, when did that all happen? If we didn't, why were they utilizing city property? I'm just curious about how all this came about.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Councilor Peggy Sue Martinez. Miss Joanne Medina reached out to me about 2 weeks ago, asking about a cruise through Espanola downtown, primarily around the Calle Espinosa Hunter area there. And that there was an organizer coming from Albuquerque that was spearheading this. So I had asked that if Miss Medina could forward my number to this individual so he can contact me directly. And that's pretty much what it was. There was a flyer going around about a cruise night in Espanola. So that was the information that was relayed to me as far as how this event was going to happen. It was just going to be a cruise through downtown Espanola, encouraging all riders to come out and show off their rides. And so they had asked, that if they could use the Hunter parking area as a staging area, but not, and that was pretty much it. There was no, nothing else but a cruise night and for people to park and cruise around that area, and which that was fine. It was not a big deal, but apparently this event ended up getting a little bit bigger than what we anticipated, or was the information that was relayed to me. Uh, I saw people were texting me and informing me of what was going on, and it looked like it turned out to be a street party, and it was backing up street traffic down Paseo de Oñate. So that's why the PD got involved, and state police were involved as well, because it was a little bit more overwhelming that what the information that we were presented in regards to that event. So, but yeah, they did ask if they could use the Hunter Ford parking area for staging to have some vehicles and maybe a photo opportunity. Also, Mr. Eric Quintana from PMI had asked because he was aware that there was going to be a photo op from Albuquerque, that we can place the U.S. flags along the flagpoles, or excuse me, along the street of Paseo de Oñate. So the streets department did that late last week as well. But like I say, the information that was relayed to us was it was a cruise night. They didn't mention anything about having a block party, which would what it seemed to be, and that's where it was.
I think, given the information that you're saying and telling us how things transpired, I totally understand where you're at as a city manager, and I don't hold you responsible for anything that happened. I think a cruise night is an excellent idea. The issue that I have is what you said, is it turning into somewhat of a block party, and then a lot of people in the block party area, especially in front of the Hunter building, in that area where they were sort of like the car show almost. A lot of people decided to do their little camp thing there, and that would have been no problem if people follow the mandates of the state, where not more than 5 people in a little area, keep social distancing, and if you're not able to social distance, absolutely have your mask on. So these are the things that are concerning to me. I mean, nobody wants to stop anybody from cruising their rolling art. Nobody wants to do that, especially not anybody in our governing body, I'm sure. But I do have the same concerns that Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim stated. We don't know the effects of how much this can affect our community's health and well-being, and we won't know this for at least 14 more days. And that's my concern right now in the zip code 87532, which is the west side of Española and the Santa Clara area. We've jumped up by almost 30% in a week of COVID cases. We were at 68 for about 3 days, and then all of a sudden we started jumping, and it started going up relatively quickly. And right now we're at 91. So that's very scary, that our zip code that close to home is growing that fast, 30%. And the governor's trying to get it down to 5%. So these are things that are concerning to us. I think that as a community, we have to commit to doing what we can do to make sure that we're providing not only for entertainment of our people, but we're providing for their safety and well-being. And I know City Manager Martinez, that this was not on you. I really feel like it probably grew bigger than even they anticipated. But I wish that we would have had a better plan, so that we would have been able to anticipate and be able to set down some ground rules for people, especially the spectators. So moving forward, I'm hopeful that we're very, very careful where we're in gatherings of more than 5 people. I think if we decide that we're going to have a cruise night, I don't think people should be allowed to pull over and stage together anywhere. I think we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we need to govern like we are in the middle of a pandemic. So those are my concerns. And I appreciate you and the staff. I don't put any blame on you whatsoever. I want you to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other councilors want to comment on anything else? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to comments from the chair. And I really just want to echo what you guys have been saying, especially about cruise night and what happened. And I'm glad, thank you for the explanation on that, City Manager. I know we had kind of spoke about that on, I believe it was Saturday evening, when I guess I noticed because we went to town. But I just wanted to let you guys know also, I think in general, we just all need to be more vigilant when it comes to all of this, and do what we need to do to help protect each other. And it was very disappointing to see. I mean, it was in any other time frame, it would have been a beautiful, wonderful event. But unfortunately, because of what's going on, of course, that's not the case. But I do have a question that came up, and I'm sorry if I might repeat what someone might have also said, because it was coming in a little bit choppy over just the phone, and I'm still trying to get back online, just so you guys know. But I did get a question about, oh, I think I'm back on. Let me see if I'm back on.
Okay, I'm back on. Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Welcome back.
Okay, hello. I was asked the question as far as like Halloween is coming up, and I know that the governor did also state in her address about as far as trick or treating and such things, and I just wanted to know what the city manager, if there's any kind of statement that the city's going to put out, because I do have some people that have been contacting me because they don't want to be mean to kids that are going to be knocking on their doors, but at the same time they feel like they shouldn't be trick-or-treating. This is coming from homes both in the Valley Estates area and in the Yates Addition, where they get the majority of trick-or-treaters. So I'm not sure if the city's going to put in any type of statement as far as saying, please do not trick-or-treat, or please put signs on your home if you're not going to participate in giving of candy. So I'll yield to the city manager on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Yes, as a matter of fact, I just spoke today with our emergency manager, Mr. Jeff Sargent. He is in contact with the Department of Homeland Security and the cabinet secretary to the governor. They're going to reach out and get some more detailed information on guidelines this Wednesday to put out in regards to trick-or-treating. So I did also get a request from Rack Stop in the county about doing a trick-or-treat drive-by along Industrial Park Road off from the county annex building. And also the city is looking at having a trick-or-treat drive-by event as well on Friday, October 30th as well, with Project Race and community services. But as of Wednesday, according to Mr. Sargent, we would get more information from the cabinet secretary in regards to the governor's guidelines with trick-or-treating events. So I will put out some information at the latter part of this week, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I'm assuming that this will also be put on when we have coffee break. Is that correct?
I believe that the mayor has designated Friday mornings to speak, so I'll relay it to him if he can also put it out through a coffee break on Friday. If not, see if we have the information before this Wednesday, because normally we have coffee break every other Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. I don't know if I'll have that information readily available by that time, but definitely if we have it by the latter part of the week, I will relay it to the mayor to disperse through a coffee break.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have recommendations, items to full council. Our first recommended item is a request for co-sponsorship from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I believe we have Ms. Felicia Rodriguez, and this is for the use of the plaza grounds for a meal pickup and distribution for the community on November 21st, 2020 from 3 to 5. Welcome, young ladies. And would you please state your name for the record and go ahead.
I'm Felicia Rodriguez, and this is my husband, Joseph Rodriguez. And we are representing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we are just so grateful to be here. So thank you all for allowing us this opportunity. We have definitely been following this pandemic the whole entire time, like everyone else has. And we just really feel very strongly that it's time for us. We feel very moved by Heavenly Father to reach out to our community members at this time, and offer some sense of community during this time. I have to completely agree with our council members. The lowrider event was very warm and very comforting, I think, to a lot of people. We definitely have our community's best interests in mind when we are planning for this holiday meal that we want to give out. We have everybody's health in mind. We definitely want to follow by the governor's orders, and we want to make sure that people are social distancing, and we want to make sure that people are wearing masks and protecting themselves and their families. At this time, we want to host an event on November 21st from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., where we will hand out 400 holiday meals to our community members, free, completely free holiday meals, just to offer a sense of community, unity, and that nobody is alone during this time. We love our brothers and sisters of Espanola. I have been born and raised here. Everyone just has always felt like family to me. So it's something we feel very, very strongly about. We are coming in front of you all tonight because we would like to ask for access to the plaza parking lot. We're not asking for access to like the facilities at the plaza or anything, just the parking lot, because we want this meal to just be a kind of drive up and go type of meal, where people can just come pick up a nice meal and then go enjoy it at home with their families. Or our community members who don't have vehicles can walk up and receive a meal as well. We would like to have 4 different stations throughout Espanola so that there's not too many people congregating in one area at a time. We want to be able to hand out masks to anybody who might show up without one. And yeah, that's just basically what we're asking right now from the city, is to waive the fees associated with renting out the plaza, because we just really want to use the parking lot, just kind of the drive like up kind of from Lotaburger through Calle de las Españolas and back down, so that people can just basically in and out type of thing. We also hope to have 3 more stations, one at our church. Our church also has kind of a drive-through area, one for the entrance and then the other gate for the exit. And then we would like to also have one near the north side of town, north side of Riverside Drive, and also on the south side of town, south side of Riverside Drive. We obviously would have to reach out to business owners that would allow us to do that. But we just really want to abide by all the laws, all the ordinances. We definitely don't want to go against our city council or anything like that. We definitely don't want to go against governor's orders. So we just really want to go about this the right way, at the same time, showing our valley that we love them and that we're here for them. So thank you.
Motion to approve, Chairman Martinez.
Second the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any questions?
Under discussion, Chairman Martinez.
Go right ahead, Councilor Martinez.
Thank you, sir. I just really want to say thank you to you guys for what you're trying to do for our community and for the most needy of our community on one of the most important days of the year. Like you said, there are a lot of people that are alone and really, really need to feel like other people care about them or feel like the community cares about them. And I see the value in this, and that's the reason that I think it's okay for the city to do it, because I think it's something that benefits the city at large. So Felicia and Joseph and those members of your church that will be cooking all these meals, please extend the most thanks to them on behalf of the City Council, the Community Service Committee, the City of Espanola staff, and the mayor. Just to be on the safe side, you will be practicing social distancing with how the meals are handed out, as far as utilization of gloves and probably handing them to them on a tray, and utilizing face masks and all of those issues.
Yes, we will be definitely following all of those. All of our members are very well practiced right now at this point. We've been very lucky with our church rules that we practice, social distancing and make sure that everything is sanitized, and use of gloves and masks. So we're very blessed to have a church that has been very, they've put a really big effort to keep all of its members safe. So we will definitely, that is our top priority, is to
Awesome.
keep everyone safe.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. And like I said, we do appreciate your effort to feed on that day. I know that the mayor did it last year, and they had a big showing. So definitely, I'm glad that somebody else has stepped up this year, and we thank your church and their congregation for their generosity towards our community and towards those that are the most needy.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Councilor Valdez.
Yes, I just want to reiterate what Councilor Martinez said. That's very generous of your church community to want to give back to our lovely city. And thank you for all the hard work and all the love that you're putting into this. Thank you, Felicia.
Councilor Dennis Tim.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I do have one question and one comment. The question will be to staff. I just want to verify that the recommendation from staff is to move forward with this. And I also want to make sure that there's nothing in the way of being able to do this for, rent-free as well, for no fees. If maybe Dora or Scott could be able to speak to this first, and then I do have a follow-up after that.
Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair, councilors. I want to say this, I think, falls on November 21st, falls on a Saturday. And they are welcome to use the senior center, which I think is very appropriate for them to be able to hand out those meals as we do now for the senior center. It has the drive-through right there, and they're, they can use the center itself to store and hand out those meals without anybody making a big congregation there.
Any other questions, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Also, I would just like to, state a big thank you to Joseph and Felicia. You guys are doing such an awesome thing, such a generous thing for our community, within Espanola. Thank you to your church as well for doing this. This is huge, especially for, people that are less fortunate as well. I'm sure, it'll definitely make their day. A lot of people are hungry. Some people are proud to admit it as well. So, this is going to be a perfect Thanksgiving opportunity as well. Thank you guys for stepping up. I've known Felicia for many years, and she's always been a very generous, kind, and giving person. And this is just another display of that. So just want to thank both of you guys. And as well, thank you to your church. Keep up the great work. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to say, I echo all your guys' sentiments on this. Thank you, Joseph and Felicia, so much for what you're doing for the community. I know that they're going to be very grateful that this is going on. I love the way that you're spreading it out throughout the city in many different areas. So it's not just all in one spot. And I really like that. So it kind of brings everybody throughout the whole community uh, to be able to celebrate such a great holiday as Thanksgiving. So thank you again so much. We do have a motion on the floor and a second. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Chair Manny Martinez,
For the motion.
Councillor Dennis Team Salazar,
For the motion.
Councillor Dorothy Valdez,
In favor of the motion.
Councillor Peggy Sue Martinez,
Also in favor?
Okay, motion passes. We will be moving it on to full council. I believe if we can get this on for our next agenda, ma'am. And again, thank you, Ms. Felicia and Joseph, so much for all that you guys are doing for our community. It's through efforts such as yourselves that keep moving this community forward and showing everybody what Espanola is truly about and the giving that we do here. Thank you again so much.
Thank you all so much. And thank you, Dora, for your generosity. I will definitely be in contact with you as well about the senior center. We truly appreciate all of you and thank you for keeping our city safe during this time. May God bless you all and thank you so much again.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Items for committee discussion. We have the revision of lease agreement with the Living in the Solutions Group, Alcoholics Anonymous of Espanola. Mr. Frost, the Community Services Director.
Yes, thank you, Counselor, and good evening again, everyone. The purpose of the request to modify the lease came about as follows. The gentleman in charge of the group came into my office one day and we were talking, and the idea was presented that during the pandemic, it's extremely difficult for the group to make any type of a payment, and they're not using the space at all. So I suggested that we could modify the lease to a nominal fee, but maintain the contract open. And then it was brought to our attention, and correctly so, that could have anti-donation clause issues. Our attorney has been looking into that, and possibly CM Martinez will be able to share a little bit of light with us on what that was discussed. But in a conversation later, well, earlier today, actually, with CM Martinez, the thought was thrown out there that possibly what we could do, instead of getting into an anti-donation thing where we're charging this group less than we might be charging others who are also renting space from the city, is that we just go ahead and I guess essentially canceled the contract until such time as the pandemic opens up and they're able to use the space again. There's no danger of them losing access to the space because we're not going to be renting it to anyone else either. But that's the purpose of the discussion now. So that's where we're at with it, is the thought it might be better to just go ahead and just cancel out the contract until such time as they can use the space.
Chairman Martinez?
Go right ahead, Councilor Martinez.
Thank you. So just to be clear, when was the last time the group utilized the building itself?
I would defer to Dora on that. It was before I got hired on.
Mr. Chair, members of the council.
Yes.
The last utilization was back in March, before the COVID, right before the COVID. It once we got those regulations from our CM and the governor, they actually went right ahead and followed those guidelines as well. So they weren't gathering probably the last part of March. I believe Mr. Joe Salazar is in this meeting right here and can actually speak to the exact date as to when they stopped gathering. Joe, are you still with us? I guess not, but yeah, I
No,
believe it's back at the end of March when they stopped gathering.
I think that he may be
Go ahead.
muted, but
Go ahead, Councilor Martinez.
Okay, yeah, I'm unmuted now. Chairman Martinez, can you hear me?
yes, I
Yes,
can.
yes, go ahead.
Okay, Chairman Martinez, City Council members and City Manager Martinez and Director Frost. Our last meeting was in the middle of March when the whole COVID issue came out. We were told that, we couldn't have meetings larger than, I think at that time was maybe 5 to 10 people, don't remember correctly. But we stopped our meetings as the mandate stated. And we also continue paying our rent from, we had paid March already, but we continue paying April, May, June, July, August, and we're paid up through October. But, the way our group generates our funding to be able to pay for our bills, we only collect money from people that attend our meetings. We don't get any grants from any other people. We're not associated with any group or a government entity. We don't ask for grants. We give out of our own pockets, and we haven't been able to collect any collections because we're not having meetings. But one thing I do want to thank is Ms. Terrazas did offer us to use the patio during the warm months. But we had a group meeting and we thought because of the type of people that attend our meetings, some of them don't tend to follow rules very well. And we didn't want people, hanging around and, trying to access the building and whatever possibility they could and then spread the virus. We're dealing with a population there, senior citizens, but also your employees. So we decided, no, we're not going to have our meetings. We're having our own little meetings at homes and over Zoom meetings, just like we're having now. So we haven't been able to collect any money for the last 6 months, and let's put it that way. And right now we've had 3 people step up and pay the monthly rents out of their own pockets. And these are our group members who can afford it. But we're getting to the point where we're not being able to find other people to step up. We do have enough. We do have one more contributor that is willing to pay for the month of November, but then that's when the issue comes up for us. And whatever possibility that you can work with us, we'll accept. If we have to pay the rent, we'll continue because we do not want to lose the facility. So that's all I got to share for now. So whatever you all decide, that's okay with us.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. So I think the anti-donation situation, it does fall into this situation in some ways, but I do believe that the service that is being offered through the Al-Anon program has value to the community. So I think that there's a portion of that possibly could be waived because of the value that Al-Anon is giving to the community.
Can I make a correction there?
Go ahead.
We're not Al-Anon, we're Alcoholics Anonymous, okay? Al-Anon's a different group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My bad. But definitely there is value to what Alcoholics Anonymous brings to the table as far as providing services to people in our community. But I do see the dilemma with them not being able to utilize the building and collecting their rent through the members that are coming to the meetings and how that has played into this situation. I would have no problem with stopping the lease for now and then picking up again when the pandemic lets up. I don't have an issue with working it like that at all. If that's the way that the group wants to do it, there's no issue with me with doing that. I think that's fine. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir, not at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Valdez?
I think it's a wonderful idea to stop the lease for now, and with the option that they will have the first option or first choice to continue or renew the lease later on after the pandemic, because if they're not using the facility, I don't think it's even fair or right to be collecting a rent from something that is not being utilized. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, this is Mayor Pro Tem Salazar. I would just like to agree with the comments made before me as well, and also Mr. Joe Salazar and the others that have been involved. I think this is a great thing that they are doing, but yeah, I don't think it's fair to them either as far as for not utilizing it. So I agree with the comments made before me by the previous two councilors. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Frost, have we at all consulted with our legal on this just to see where we're at?
Yes, sir. CM Martinez put it before our attorney, and I defer to him to respond. We talked about it a little bit, but I don't have all the details, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Frost. Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Yes, Mr. Frost is correct. We did forward this to our legal team. That's why we changed it to a discussion item for today's agenda, primarily because we didn't get a full response back as of yet. But they are reviewing it and looking at what the best option it is. But we did incorporate about the current cost and moving forward, and of course the talk of the anti-donation clause was brought up, and so we want to make sure that all our bases are covered. And in respect to Mr. Salazar, I do believe that as Councilor Didi Valdez mentioned, that have them the first dibs to come back and renegotiate the contract when they're able to come back and conduct their meetings. But yes, to answer the question, it is currently under review by our legal team.
Okay, I think it's like, if I'm correct, the consensus of this committee is that we would like to see what we can do to, of course, to help these people through this pandemic, and see how we can get through this lease agreement to see how we can best suit not just this Alcohol Anonymous group, but also the city as well. So I think the best thing is if we could get with legal and see what we can do, and see if we can come up with a good agreement, bring it back to this committee and see if we can, what we can do, sir.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
Any further comments from any councilors? Councilor Martinez? Any comments, Councilor Martinez?
Counselor Manny, just making sure that we extend whatever amount is left on their lease, that we extend that wherever we pick up, amend the lease to state that, okay? And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem?
I have nothing further, sir. I just want to thank Mr. Joe Salazar and, the people involved with him for all their hard work. Mr. Salazar, you guys keep up the great job. Thank you, sir.
It still continues, Councilor Salazar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Valdez?
No, that is it. Thank you.
Yeah, I too feel that we need to do what we can do to help you guys. This is a very needed program program that you guys do in this city is very well needed, especially during this time of not just what we're going through with COVID and the situation, but also with holidays coming up. I know this is a very much a time that a person that is suffering with this type of addiction may revert back to it without the help of a group like yours, sir. And so we thank you for what you're doing for our community, and let's see how we can help you keep yourselves open to help these people, sir.
Thank you.
And again, I apologize if I keep cutting off like that. I don't know what the heck is on with my service here, but on to department reports, Community Service Department overview by the Community Services Department Director, Mr. Scott Frost, sir.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. So before you, you can see the Community Services overview for October 2020. Just briefly going down through the bullet points. The Community Services Department overall continues to function. The Parks Department is preparing the parks for winter. All the other departments have run along without a hitch. Much commendation to Recreation, Library, and Senior Center for all that they do. They've really stepped up. So all of that is business as usual. Per our last meeting, I promised to pursue the idea of what we can do as an organization about one thing specifically, and that is the prevalence of discarded needles in our public spaces. It's really become just a huge thing with me, and as you can see, most of my report is all about that. The first bullet point, public education and buy-in. We talked about ways that we can get people to be more aware of what's going on. We have a few in the community, obviously, who are very aware and very vocal about the problem, but it felt like the direction was last time that we need to maybe launch a campaign to start talking about this. And so in harmony with that, we designed up some posters that I wanted to present to you. These are not final draft by any means. These are suggestions. These are things that we've talked about, but these are some ideas that we might just be able to get out there. We discussed the need for a catchphrase, and it came up with "needles are for sewing, not for throwing." It does roll off the tongue. I don't know if it's a very good catchphrase, but it does roll off the tongue. But the important part about this one and this one is the symbolism in the poster itself. We've got a baby. Everyone in our valley has a soft spot for children. We're a very family-oriented community. And so, you know, the decision was, well, you know, maybe we could show the pain and suffering that these IV drug users are going through. And I thought, no, let's show who they might be hurting. And so that's why we've got children in both of these posters. The idea being all of us are probably parents. I know I am. And when my little girl was a baby, everything that she picked up went to her mouth. And the thought of her being in a public place and picking up a needle is just horrifying to me. So it's really something I've become passionate about since taking this position. You'll notice at the bottom, we do have the sponsorship of Project Race. We've got their logo on there. Miranda helped me generate these posters. She's an excellent graphic artist that way. So really want to send some kudos their way. We have the City of Espanola logo indicating, you know, who's behind this. One thing you'll notice at the bottom of these posters are instructions, what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do. If you encounter a needle, please do not touch and immediately contact one of the following. And we have 3 numbers there. Now, per our last meeting, I went and I met with the director at the Mountain Center. I toured their facility. We can go back up to my report right here, bullet point number 2. I went through their facility. I talked to them about it. And you know, it's a tragic plague that hovers over our valley, this drug abuse. And we're not going to fix it with a poster. I totally get that. And what I told the gentleman at the Mountain Center is, you know, I'm going to be selfish here. I'm not going to worry about the addicts. I'm not going to worry about these IV users. I'm going to worry about the people who visit my parks. And my priority is to keep these public spaces safe and clean. And that's what I'm looking to do. And that's my motive for visiting you here today. And he got it. And so a few things that were the result of that meeting was that I got them to agree to take the waste that is being generated, like we have Sharps containers in Valdez Park and in Ranchitos Park. There was some discussion prior that I was going to have to find a medical waste disposal company because the hospital wasn't going to be up to doing it, at least not for free. And I identified one, which is Stericycle. They are the medical waste people, but it was going to cost us. So the long and the short of it is I got this organization to agree. I mean, hey, they're the ones handing out the needles. It's supposed to be a one-for-one needle exchange. We can't really count on these IV drug users to be responsible, but we, community services, are picking these needles up every day. The least Mountain Center could do is handle the waste for us, and they agreed to it. And so that was good. I have tubs and red bags and the training to empty out these Sharps containers that we have in public places. I'll be doing that this week, and I'm going to take that waste up to them and let them use their funds to get rid of it. So that was a good thing. You'll notice again at the bottom of these posters, there is a number that people are supposed to call. I'm going to put the Mountain Center number on top, and the non-emergency dispatch and then my office number will be in much smaller print, but still available. But the Mountain Center agreed when I talked with them that they would respond anytime, anybody in the valley, and not just in our public parks, but anywhere. Somebody reported a Sharp, that they would go and pick it up. Now, I haven't put them to the test. I haven't seen their response time. I'm not going to leave a needle out there for 2 days while they get around to it. I'm going to direct people to call that number, and then I'm going to follow up myself. And if I get over there, obviously I'm going to pick up the needle myself and throw it away. But we're going to give them the chance to service what they sell, so to speak. And it was a positive meeting. It really was. I can't say that it was in any way negative other than the subject matter, but it was beneficial. And I think we established some a good relationship between myself as the new director of the department and him. And there was already a good relationship between them and the city in the past. So it was positive all the way around is where I'll leave that. After that, I did meet with our chief of police to talk about that and other issues. We didn't talk about just needles in the park. The recreation center supervisor, Maria Sandoval, went with me, and on the agenda was, what can we do about individuals gathering in the parks and not exercising proper social distancing? That was Maria's concern, and I was talking about needles. And a takeaway that came from the chief is that we need to get up some signage. We need to really give the officers who patrol these areas something to point to, and when they approach an individual engaging in risky behavior, either the drug use or not having the appropriate social distancing or the appropriate PPE rather, they need to be able to point to an ordinance and say, that's the law you're breaking and you have to stop or leave. And so in the venue of preparing signage to post in these areas, we're going to have to research and see exactly everything that we have on the books. And then the possibility exists, a conversation I had with them is possibly tweaking existing ordinances so that it's more of a crime to dispose of a hazardous waste than, say, a McDonald's wrapper. I mean, obviously, if I throw a Coke can out, I'm being offensive, but I may not necessarily be putting anybody in jeopardy. Whereas if I throw out a needle with body fluids in it, then that's a whole nother story. And he directed me to the court system to talk with our judge about it, that being a possibility. So that'll be an update I have for you next month, is the possibility of initiating an aggravated littering type of an ordinance. And it was a very honest conversation we had with Chief Jimenez, and we recognized that the chances of actually catching somebody flicking out a needle is not huge, but if it's there and we're taking steps in that direction, it can only help. And so that's something we'll be continuing to work on and look at. I did speak with the park supervisor or foreman this morning, Ben, and I talked to him about it. And that was one of the things that he said. He said, you know, Scott, we've tried all of this in the past and so forth. And he was the one who directed me to make sure that any signage we put up is really official. It's not just a sign from community services, but it has, you know, some power behind it by citing the appropriate ordinances. So that was a real good suggestion from him. But I got a good buy-in from him as well. We did talk about the probability of having somebody from parks go through and sweep the public areas, the plaza and the big parks on Saturdays and Sundays, because that's been a sort of a gap in our coverage. We don't have people normally scheduled to work on weekends, and so the dangerous litter builds up, and we've had occasions where there were activities. We didn't have anybody out there picking things up, and so we sort of took a hit on that because we didn't. And I suggested to him that maybe an on-call schedule could be formulated, and the person that's on call would be expected to spend Saturday and Sunday morning at least an hour or two going through and just patrolling for needles in these places, and he agreed. We also both did think that probably as we're entering winter and it's getting colder and people are moving away from outdoor areas, that may be something that we hold off until it starts to warm up again in the spring. Again, that's up in the air. We're gonna just keep our eye on it and see how it goes. I did go out this morning. I go out almost every morning, and honestly, I didn't notice any less number of needles than ordinary, and it was kind of chilly over the weekend, but we're not fully into winter season yet, so we'll see how that goes. But we're just continuing to work on that. We have other projects going and things, but I promised you last month that I would have some information and some activity on this used syringe issue, and that's what we're up to. So open to any questions.
Do we have any questions from any counselors? Counselor Martinez?
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. So I really feel like this is an ongoing situation that seems like it's gotten actually a little bit worse. We've talked about it many times, and we've really never addressed the ordinances concerning time constrictions for parks or curfews or things like that. I really feel like when they started stealing our lighting, wiring and all of that, I really felt like it was time to make the fences at the park a little higher and have them be completely off limits after a certain hour. I don't believe that it's healthy to have people in the park. I think it's a liability to our community to have people in the park that late. And I really feel like that's when a lot of this stuff is happening. So if we had an ordinance that had a curfew or a time limitation of 10 o'clock or so, maybe a little bit later on the weekend, it would probably be best. I mean, I've come home to my home and I've seen some people in the park here by our home really, really late at night. And you know, it's not anything healthy. They're not doing anything for health and well-being at that time. So I do think that it's time that we consider new new ordinances for this situation and not just talking about it, like actually look at what other communities have, see if they're adaptable to our community, and change the rules for the use of the parks after a certain hour.
Councilor Valdez? Any
Hi,
comments,
yeah.
questions?
I just want to agree with Counselor Peggy Sue Martinez about the putting a, I just lost my train of thought. The time issue, I can't think of the word. Anyway, to set a time where after 10 o'clock, nobody would be allowed to remain in the park for safety reasons, like Miss Peggy Sue Martinez, counselor, said, and not only for the safety of the people who are there at that late hour, but also for the safety of the children that will go to the park in the morning to play, and they could accidentally step on a needle or pick one up and stab themselves with it. I mean, it's anything could happen. Very unsafe things could happen. So the curfew is a great idea, and I think we should have an ordinance to enforce that time limit. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Mayor Pro Tem Salazar.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Martinez. I would just like to echo as well in regards to curfews. And I think just like Councilor Peggy Sue Martinez did mention, I think we do have to start looking at stricter ordinances and as well as possible ways for enforcement. And again, maybe this will be something that could help out in the long run. But yeah, I think curfews is one step, and again, another step is enforcement as well. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
One other note,
Thank you,
follow up.
Go right ahead, Councilor Martinez.
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. So it's my understanding that the mayor of Las Vegas enacted an executive order authorizing the city police to ticket people for not wearing masks and for breaking up congregations of 5 or more people. So I really feel like, you know, if the numbers continue to spike the way that we've seen in the last 3 weeks, that we're going to have to get to a place where we're going to have to demand that anybody in a park for sure has a mask on, even if you're walking alone. All of these things are so critical to the general well-being and health of our community. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Martinez. I just want to echo my fellow councilors. I think we're all in agreement that maybe we need to really start, if we can, Mr. Frost and City Manager Martinez, if we could start looking at a city ordinance as far as closing the parks at a specific time. Uh, 10 seems to be the time frame that we're looking at, and perhaps we can look at drafting some sort of an ordinance so we can start working on this. Also, I'd like to see if maybe we can look at what the cost would be to provide some sort of video surveillance in our park areas. Perhaps that might even be something that we can look at that might also help to help our insurance costs if we start to have more videos, cameras and stuff to see what's going on. We could even maybe direct it straight to the PD so that if they do see some illegal activity going on in any of the city parks or the plaza, that they would be able to move on it without having to patrol so many times. Because once they start patrolling, they'll look at them and, okay, they're not going to be back for another couple of hours. But if we could put some sort of video, I know that we've talked about that before, but maybe we could do some sort of a study to see how much it would actually cost us to do that. but I think we do need to start with at least a city curfew or closing the plaza and the parks at a specific time. So I would like to see if we could start looking at a city ordinance on that, sir.
Okay, I agree 100% and I will make it a priority.
Okay, thank you. Because we got to get a hold of this before someone is seriously injured and something does happen, and we need to protect our citizens from all this stuff. So thank you. Any further questions, councilors, or any comments?
No, sir.
No.
No.
Okay, let's. Do you want to continue, sir, or is that your report, sir?
No, that covers all the information I have for this month. We will definitely start working on drafting an ordinance for curfew, as well as consider other security measures, cameras. The possibility was discussed about possibly even wrought iron fence around the plaza area. We're looking into all of that, so I will have more information for you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
What was everyone's
go ahead and
take
move
on the posters? Did you find these effective? Is this something that could be used, or is it too graphic? I would like some feedback.
I think the posters could be very, very effective, especially if they're placed in certain areas, especially if not just around the parks, but if we also are able to place them within town. I think they could be very effective. They're graphic enough that people can possibly see the dangers of it, and hopefully they will think twice before they throw a needle. So I think they could be very effective, sir. And thank you for getting the Mountain Center on board. Any other comments on the posters, councilors?
I love the poster. I don't think they're too graphic. I think they're direct and to the point, and they're showing the most vulnerable that can be injured by a needle. So I think they're right on point. Thank you, sir.
Councilor Valdez, any comments on the posters?
I absolutely love the posters. The slogan, "Needles are for sewing, not for throwing," is absolutely imaginative and to the point, and it's something catchy that everybody could remember. The state of New Mexico had Toss No Mas a couple of years ago. I still remember it. So this is something that the city has as a slogan to remind everybody about being careful with the needles. And like Councilor Manny Martinez said, we can put them not only at the parks, but everywhere on our website, and just have them where everyone can see it. And I love the little baby innocent foot right next to a needle. That just says so much. A picture is like 1,000 words, and that is perfect. It's a nice poster. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Salazar?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yes, I love the poster. I think it's great, and I think like you said, Mr. Chairman, it's graphic enough. Just looking at that, and I think hopefully it does make people think twice. And of course, you have a mother going to the park with a kid, and they see that, or a father going to the kid to the park, and they see that. That's gonna really motivate them. With their concern, and at the same time, I think that's our goal, is just to limit this as much as possible. So I like it, and I think we should, put these up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think you should make it a point, Mr. Frost, to make this a campaign and get these posters out and see what it's going to take us to do that. And also, of course, placing it on all social media so that we can hopefully get other people to share this as well. Like Councilor Valdez said, it's a slogan, and slogans do work. We all remember Toss No Mas, and it's something that sticks with you. And I think these are slogans that might stick with people. Per se, I don't want to be, stick the needle type of thing, but a walk in the park shouldn't look like this, and I think that says it right there. And the needles for sewing, not for throwing. I like those slogans. So let's do what we can with these, sir. As far as both social media and see what we can do as far as getting some posters out, sir. Would this be something that we would need to take to full council, city manager, to do a campaign like this?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, I don't believe so. I think this is something that, if the committee chooses to do and a little campaign, we do not need full council authority to go and proceed with this.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. We'll move on to Community Services Department, to the Espanola Library. Miss Sherry Aragon.
Good evening, Chair and committee members. How's everybody doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. This month is National Pizza Month, so we have actually acquired some coupons from Pizza 9. So this whole month we're actually doing pizza trivia questions on our Facebook page and sometimes here in the library, so we can give some of these coupons out. And some of these coupons are for like 50% off a large pizza or a free dessert. So people are really enjoying this, and we've gotten probably about maybe, I'd say about 6-7 winners right now, and they really love it. One of the other things that we were planning on doing is that everybody was talking about earlier was a trick or treat drive-through at the senior center on October 30th, but I just want to wait on Jeff because I had asked him about the new mandates that the governor had put out and stuff. So I just want to wait for him before we cancel this event or see how everything is going to go. And I know one of the biggest concerns was that people had, and that I heard, was of packing all the candy and stuff. You have to sanitize everything, keep everything sanitary. And if you're going to put it in bags, make sure it's very sanitized. And, everybody needs to wear gloves and everything, masks, of course. So I'm just kind of waiting on Jeff to see what he says, if we can actually have this event or not. And for the month of October, there are 23 projects that we have going on for our grab and go crafts that people are coming in to pick up. And as of our statistics, we have given out a total of 47 crafts in 1 month. So that's a lot of craft bags that we have actually put together. Del Norte Credit Union has actually donated some bags for us so we could continue putting crafts out to everybody. So they've donated 500 of their bags, and they've also donated some of the Baxter Bear Fund, where the kids can actually go in and start a account at the bank. So they've given us some of those, and they've also given us some coloring books. Those are really coming in handy for now. Library statistics, our total circulations, we have had 895 books and items that have been checked out so far for the month of September. And our security gate count, probably about 1,000 people have come through the library. Computer users, all these statistics are finally moving up a little bit. And as far as you can see on our total revenue for the month, that has gone up. It's not what it was at last year's revenue, but we're trying, and people are coming in, and we're doing the best that we can. And other than that, it's just business as always. Any questions?
No questions. I just want to say, Sherry, thank you and your staff for how you've been able to adjust to the situation with the pandemic, and especially where the kids are concerned, and keeping them engaged through art. I think that's one of the things that has really benefited them, because now that they're doing homeschool via computer, they need activities to keep their mind busy when they're not working on those school projects. So definitely we appreciate everything you guys are doing.
All right, thank you very much, Counselor.
Mayor Pro Tem Salazar?
Yes, thank you, Chair Martinez. Sherry, as well, as always, thank you so much for your hard work and your creative ways. You always do a great job, and so does your staff. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Counselor.
Counselor Valdez?
Yes, Sherry, I know that the governor has declared October 30th Read Day, and the governor is giving every third grader in the state of New Mexico a Rudolfo Anaya book. I was wondering, perhaps if you got in contact with her, she might be able to donate a few of, it's only one title, but a few of the books for the library. Just an idea, throwing it out there. Thank you, Sherry, for everything you do.
Okay. All right, thank you for the information, Counselor. I'll look into that.
Sherry, thank you so much for everything you do. You and your staff, you guys are doing fantastic, especially considering through all this. So at the end, thank you guys so much for everything that you're doing, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Chairman.
We've gone ahead and move on to Lucero Center Recreation Facility, reports and updates. Ms. Maria Sandoval.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. The report for the past month, definitely a little bit better than the one before. Our numbers did grow a little bit. So of course, as you know, activities are on hold. The use of the locker room is still on hold as well. The pool, I'm happy to announce that most of our senior citizens are the ones using it because they love the lap swim. Definitely the water temperature has been raised to 1 more degree. Mr. Jeff Sargent is still awaiting the training portion in order to see if the environment of the room, the pool room itself, could be a little bit higher, as it is pretty cool in there. As you know, there is no heater for the room itself. The only thing that warms up that particular area is definitely the pool's water. So the heater is doing double the work per se. But we're still waiting on that. There is like now with the noon mandate, the family swim session, there were 2 of them, and they were taking advantage of that as well. And I was glad to announce, and I'm glad to announce that there were some families that would come together and use the pool kind of like privately. It was so neat, you know, at least that's what they mentioned, and they showed in regards to commenting that they like that. But due to the new mandate, now we've opened up another hour in order for the lap swimmers to enjoy. So instead of being 2 hours for family swim, it's now going to be only 1 hour, which is, it's not bad. Not you know, we don't have a lot of families that come in at 2 o'clock. They basically come in at 3 to 4, so that's a good thing. We definitely welcome aboard Ms. Andrea Padilla. She's going to be our part-time lifeguard. Yay! However, sadly, we just lost the morning lifeguard, Ms. Natalia Backhouse. She is basically moving to Grants, New Mexico to follow her chosen career. So that was pretty sad. So now we're back to where we were before, where we were not opening the afternoons. And now we're opening the afternoons, but closing the morning until we get a morning lifeguard. Friday nights, movies at the park, because of the mandate and that, and you know, definitely we looked more deeply into the social distancing, which pretty much some people do follow, but not all of them. So we figured, no, let's not get into that little type of dilemma. So we decided to cancel that. We still are disinfecting our facility. Of course, a lot of people are like, well, why do you need 2 hours? And I said, have you seen our facility? It's not small, and we only have four staff. So we definitely need everybody on that. And I do have to say thank you to Sherry and her staff for helping us out at the front area, which we call the foyer. They help us out by disinfecting that area. So thank you, Sherry. Let's see. We are definitely keeping positive amidst people's frustration of not being able to remove their mask while working out. But some of them really understand, and some of them don't. And so we hear and we feel their frustration, but it is what we have to do, and we do mandate it here. So if they like it, great, they can work out. If they don't, we definitely ask them to sayonara, go home and come back if you'd like, or we sometimes try to provide a mask, and of course they just look at us and turn around and go home. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Sandoval. Do we have any comments or questions from any counselors? We'll start with Counselor Valdez.
Yes, I just want to thank you, Maria, for providing masks to the people who may walk in without one. That is really helping the situation. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Counselor Martinez.
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. Also, I'll concur with Councilor Valdez that I think when somebody's not wearing a mask and you're put in the position to have to offer it up, I'm grateful that we have them there available if need be. I'm saddened when people decide they'd rather not utilize the facility than wear a mask. The other thing I want to tell you is that I received a lot of positive feedback in the condition of the pool and the water and how nice it's been recently, and just all the lap swimmers that are enjoying that pool in the morning and how positive they feel about it. So I'm saddened that there will be no morning swim. Like I'm just really sad about that, because I know that those ladies are totally committed to getting in the water daily and doing their laps like they're used to. But let's try and get that position filled as soon as possible so we can keep these women in shape all through the winter. Thank you and your staff, Maria, for cleaning that place up. It is a big facility and it requires a lot, especially that weight gym. There's a lot of different equipment in there that a lot of different people are touching, and it takes a lot to clean it up. So thank you. Please practice safety when you and your staff are doing that. Make sure everybody's gloved up and everything else. I'm sure you know what you're doing, but just take extra precaution to keep everybody safe and healthy. And thank you for your commitment to the Lucero Center and for keeping it going the way that you do. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Counselor Martinez. Counselor Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Salazar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maria, thank you as well for ensuring the safety of your staff as well as everybody that goes into the Lucero Center. I think that's very important. And thank you for overseeing that and ensure everybody's health and safety, and it definitely goes a long way. Also, thank you for your hard work, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Again, thank you, Maria, and your staff for all that you're doing to keep everyone safe that's still trying to utilize the center and trying try and keep things as normal as they can for themselves by still participating in some sort of activity. So we thank you for that, for all that your staff is doing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to go ahead and move on to the Beatrice Martinez Senior Center with Ms. Dora Terrazas.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, as you see, our revenue has gone up. Aside from the COVID closure that we've had, we are doing pretty good thanks to my staff that are doing a great job at handing those luncheons and breakfast out. They are trying their best to be able to make that possible for the whole community and this seniors who actually come almost every day. We want to thank the community to supporting us. We do have the Halloween drive-through trick-or-treat that Sherry had mentioned coming up on the 30th. Hopefully we can go ahead with that to be able to help them with this holiday. We plan on having that from 3 to 5 o'clock. It will be a drive-through, so if we don't have any more restrictions or any more closures from our governor, hopefully we can go ahead with that. I know that the same day Hacienda is going to be having theirs as well from 4 to 8 o'clock, and it's also a drive-through. But like I say, our parking lot is perfect for that drive-through, just like we give the lunches, so we won't have anyone getting down from their vehicles, and anybody that is going to be giving out those treats can actually have the social distancing for each of the vehicles. I also want to give out kudos to NEMRAC. Ms. Graviela Silvia has done a great job along with Richard and Allison from Planning and Zoning, that they have done the crosswalks. It's a beautiful one that you can see there is the plaza to the brewery. They were doves. I had the pleasure of helping them paint a couple of those. And this past Saturday, we actually did half of the crosswalk on one end and half on the other end from the JHR. Our ex-counselor Michelle joined us actually on Saturday to paint quite a bit of turtles that we had on those crosswalks. It was a lot of work. Richard and Allison also joined us, Graviela and her crew, her staff, and we had a few people that came and helped as well too. We will be finishing those off hopefully a couple of hours this week to finish off those crosswalks. I know the next one's coming up Saturday for the zipper from Valdez Park, I believe. Hopefully anybody that wants to come and help put the word out there. It's for children and anybody that wants to come and help out. They start at 9 o'clock and try to finish about 12 o'clock. So we are trying to also collect non-perishable for the race program that has flyers out there as well. So let anybody know that they're welcome to bring them to the senior center. And last but not least, we are planning on having our Thanksgiving luncheon, which will be the turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, and I'm gonna try and make some pumpkin rolls if I don't have the time, if not for Christmas for sure. But let everybody know that we will have a full Thanksgiving luncheon on November 24th for the community. And that pretty much
Thank
covers.
you, ma'am. Do we have any comments? Councilor Valdez.
Yes, I just want to ask Ms. Terrazas what the price for the Thanksgiving meal is going to be.
We have the price of just the regular luncheon, $3.50 for the seniors, $6.50 for non-seniors.
Okay, I'm still going to try to get out there either for a breakfast burrito or maybe for the Thanksgiving meal. Thank you so much
Alright.
for feeding our seniors and feeding anyone who would like to go. It's a wonderful deal. All the food that you get for the low price. I appreciate you cooking for us. Thank you, Dora.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Salazar.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to add those crosswalks are looking really nice. I love them. In fact, yeah, the one by the Blue Heron, and I saw also the one by JHR as well. So you guys keep up the good work with that. Also, Dora and staff, I know it's been very tricky, also very hard during COVID, but you guys have made do, and thank you for always taking care of our seniors of the Espanola Valley. You guys do a great job with that, and keep up the great work. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Martinez.
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. I'll concur with Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar and with Councilor Valdez that what you guys are doing with providing meals to the seniors, and especially in the safe way that you're doing it, is awesome. The crosswalks do look incredible also, and we certainly appreciate that. I think they're very uplifting now, especially because we don't go out every day, and it's certainly a nice surprise to go out and see that colorful crosswalk. So we appreciate that, and all the people that volunteered to make that happen. So thank you very much, Mr. Terrazas.
You're welcome, and thank you guys for your support.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Terrazas. Again, I'm gonna just echo our counselors. Thank you for what you're doing for our seniors. And I just want to also tell you that I had a couple of coworkers that went and picked up lunch from the senior center, and they had nothing but the greatest of praise for the lunch that they got. So I just want to let you know that they really enjoyed their meal. So kudos to your chef there at the senior center, ma'am. Also, I just want to say those crosswalks are beautiful. I hope that somewhere in the future you do plan on putting some of those beautiful colors on the east side as well, maybe on La Jolla Street or McCurdy Road somewhere. Bring that colors to the east side there. That would be much appreciated, ma'am. And also, I just want to ask a question. Is there any plans on any more drive-in movies there at the senior center, ma'am?
Counselor, yes, it's in the works to put a couple of more crosswalks there on the east side, possibly there at McCurdy. Allison and Graviela are kind of talking about that. And as far as any more movies, we would have loved to have had a few more, but as you know, the weather right now is getting a little chilly. And but most definitely we will be looking into having more in the future. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions or comments from any of the counselors? Okay, no, seeing none. Our next meeting will be held on November 16th. I hope that works for all of you. If by any chance it doesn't, please contact myself or, of course, our community services director, Mr. Frost, to let us know if we need to change that date at all now, especially since the holidays will be coming up now in November. Other than that, anything else, counselors?
Thank you guys for everything. Good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you guys all. Have a great evening.
Bye.
This meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you next time.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Mr. Frost.
Thank you.